Hey y'all, 16-bit Gambit, and this is my first YouTube video, so hopefully it's not too clunky. My goal for this channel is I got a personal project where I'm going to be trying to create my own video game using the Godot engine. If I'm successful, the end result will look very similar to SNES era 16-bit pixelated action JRPG style games. I'll be using whatever resources I got available, other YouTube channels for coding, how to use Godot, ChatGPT, Aseprite for assets, stuff like that. Basically, this is, I guess, going to be a devlog, and I'll see how far I can get this thing start to finish, with the understanding I'll be learning a little bit as I'm going. That said, I don't have a degree in computer science, a strong background in coding, so there's a pretty good chance that the people in the audience are going to know how to do this stuff better than I do. If you got comments, input on how I could do stuff or how I could do stuff better along the way, be appreciated. I'll listen when I'm able to. Besides that, I figured I'd start with something kind of easy. So this video is going to be illustrating how to create a character sprite and animate it in Godot. So real quick, I'm going to go ahead and over here, I'm going to create a new 2D scene in my project, and I'm going to go ahead and add a Sprite 2D child node. I'm going to illustrate an item for y'all that will maybe leave some of you scratching your heads, but I notice on a lot of these tutorials, it's one of the first things that people bring up. So I've got all these assets over here in the tree that I've created along the way. Godot doesn't include anything besides, I guess, that face JPEG or PNG file. So I'm going to zoom in here real quick, and you see that as I get closer, this is kind of fuzzy. It's not super clear. To avoid that, if you go to project settings, and then you go down to rendering and textures, and you choose the default texture filter. You change it from linear, which when you start a new project, that's where it's going to be set to nearest, and that'll clear up whatever art you're using. That said, if there is some way to go somewhere, halfway between these two, get that kind of cathode ray screen sort of look, I guess that'll be a project for later on that I'll try to figure out. But anyway, so as you can see on the 2D plane, we've got a number of characters that were just brought in on its Sprite 2D. So I go over to the right hand side on the Inspector tab for that Sprite 2D, and then I go Animation, and we see we got 4 rows by 9 rows of sprites. So horizontal, I'm going to bump that up to 9, and vertical, I'm going to bump that up to 4. Also, real quick, I'm going to be doing kind of complicated stuff that will require multiple items getting fired at the same time, but if you're just doing a simple animation, you can add an animated sprite 2D, and on the Inspector tab, go Animation, Sprite Frames, New Sprite Frames, and then you click once again over here. And then you've got this interface here at the bottom that typically pops up where you can start creating simple animations that don't involve multiple things firing at the same time. So say, for instance, if I'm going to have an animation called idle right, and then I click on this kind of tic-tac-toe looking box right here, go to sprites, and I go to my existing assets, once again 4 by 9, and I create a idle animation. You can create multiple animations, just do plus over here, and we'll go walk. So once again, clicking on the tic-tac-toe, and I'll go ahead and turn off the sprite underneath it so it's not so confusing. Even if the colors don't exactly let you see the legs move too well. Oh well. Anyway, so that's Animated Sprite 2D, but I'm going to be doing some a little bit more complicated, so I'll leave it up there for now in case I find a use for it. And I'll turn my sprite back on, and I'll add an animation player. And I'll create new animation, idle, right. Then I'll click back on the node, and I'll start putting in items that I would like to be set on the time in the animation player. So right now it defaults to 1 second long animation, and you can snap to specific times when you're creating your animation. For idle, I'm going to go ahead and have them do kind of stuff. I'm going to make it a few seconds long. And I got 4 frames, so I'm just going to have it do something every half second. We'll see how it looks. I'm going to make sure that it's visible. So over here on the inspector tab is how I'm going to be doing my input for my animation player. And these keys are how you lock in an item. So I'm at right when the animation starts. And I'm going to be visible from the very beginning. And I'm going to be starting with a different character. So I'm going to key that frame right there, and then you see how it jumps to half second later. Key, 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 and we can watch it now, but I'm going to set it so it loops. So play. Maybe a little bit too slow. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and pause it, set it to 1 second, 0.25 for the snaps, and snap, 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 snap. Yeah, that's good enough for now. So, I'm going to show you a little time saver right here. What I'm going to do is every animation on the platformer map is going to have the left animation and right animation. And instead of having to go all the way from the very beginning, I'll just go animation, duplicate, and I'll name it left. So the only difference between these two is I'll click back over here to repopulate information on the inspector node, and then I'm going to go transform. Nope, I'm going to go offset, and I'm going to hit flip H, and I'm going to lock it. And so if I play idle left, facing left, I'm going to go idle right, and I'll make sure the flip H is not checked. Then same source with 2 different animations. Alright. Now real quick, I'm going to create a walk right animation. And once again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to key that we're visible from the beginning. And we're going to key flip H's off. And we're going to key the animations and see how it looks with it being 1 second long. Whoop. I'll make sure it loops. Yeah, not too bad. Once again, to save time, we're going to duplicate, walk left. Okay. And the only difference between these two is I'm going to go ahead and lock in the flip H, lock, and play. Awesome. And just because I'm too lazy to create a unique run animation, I'm going to go walk right, animation, duplicate, run, right. Okay. I'm going to set this to twice as fast, so half second, 0.125. And if you hover your mouse over top of this track that shows the time for the animation player, if you roll in on the roller, it'll allow you to zoom in. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. And we're looping. Yeah, a little bit faster. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate that. Okay, and click on the node to populate the inspector, turn on flip H, lock it, and run left, run right. Cool. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create one more animation for all these. And as I'm working, I'll explain why I have to add a new Sprite 2D. So I'm going to click on Node, add Sprite 2D. It's going to have a different name in the tree, but it doesn't really matter, I think, whether it's nested or not. And I'm going to click on that sprite, and I'm going to go ahead and drag in my attack resource. I'm going to zoom out. This one is 8x4. So horizontal frames, it's going to be 8, or vertical. And you'll notice that it's just not the same location. The reason being is the original sprite is 32 by 32 pixels. This one is 32 tall by 48 wide. So if I proceed through the animations, you'll see that in showing whatever the characters are holding and showing the effect of the swing through the air, I end up taking up a bit of additional space. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to account for that one using the animation player. I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to do idle right real quick. I'm going to pause it. I'm going to go back over to this one, and I'm going to create a new animation called attack. Right. Okay. So I'm going to start with my original sprite, and I'm going to say that I do not want this to be visible. So I'm going to lock that, and I'm going to go to my new sprite, and I'm going to say I do want this to be visible. Okay. And real quick, I'm going to turn that one back on, and I'm going to go to transform to move that new sprite so that it's centered over top of the old sprite. So when the animation starts for attack, it doesn't just shift the character to the side real quick. And the reason why I knew that was 8 pixels is because that was the second time, or this is the second time I'm making this video today. I'm going to lock that in for the attack right animation, and I'm going to say that I want this to be 0.3 seconds long, and I want these to be the ability to snap every 0.05 seconds. So real quick to get my bearings, I'm going to go ahead and lock the first animation, and then I'm going to lock the second animation, and the third animation, and I'm not going to add anything else after that as far as the animation is concerned. It's 0.3 seconds long, and the last 66% is going to be the weapon swinging, which in another video we'll see why that's going to be helpful. So attack right, sprite 2D not visible, attack sprite visible, position, offset, coordinates, and I'm going to loop it for now just to see it, but eventually I'm going to turn that loop off because you only want that to play once. Yeah, it's pretty solid. Okay, so because I'm lazy, I'm going to duplicate, and I'm going to go attack left, click OK, and I'm going to go offset and flip H, and then you'll see that now this kind of illustrates the point. So once it's turning, it's going to shift everything off by, in this case, 16 pixels. So I'm going to, on the 0 mark, lock, flip H. I'm going to put the transform as -8, and then I'm going to lock that. and position is locked. So let's play it. Cool. Attack right. And I'm going to turn off that flip H. I'm going to lock it. So, attack right. Attack left. Turning off the loop. And I'm going to go back through those other animations that we made. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off the visibility for the attack sprite. So visibility at 0, it's going to be locked off. Walk left. Visibility at 0 is going to be locked. Run right. Visibility at 0. Run left, already done, I guess. Off, 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 off. Yeah, gotcha. Cool. So, yeah, that is. Oh, and one more. I'm going to go back to pause this. And I'm going to create a new animation. Go. Right. Doesn't really matter for this one how long it is because I only have one frame for it. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the visibility for the attack. I'm going to turn on the visibility for this dude, and I'm going to turn off flip H and right. Animation, duplicate. Jump left. Only difference is the flip H. Lock. And let's run through them. Attack left. Attack right. Out left. Out right. Jump left. Jump right. Run left. And right. Walk left. Walk right. No, that's it for this video. The next one is going to be creating a 2D platform map for us to have this dude explore. Thanks for watching.